everyone, and welcome to Unhinged but Healthy. I am here with my peppermint tea. If you're watching, how cute is this mug made for winter? And I have my Aldi specially selected peppermint tea, and let me tell you, if you want a good peppermint tea like the good Lord intended, this is a great one. So here we are yet again. Your girl is tired. I am so tired. I look tired. It is what it is, you know. We're just getting by at the moment. We are in the beginning of Mercury retrograde, and let me tell you, I have been feeling this for weeks, about 3 weeks now. We're also in the middle of a storm. I doubt you'll be able to hear it on my laptop, but you may be able to hear it on my video because it's on my phone. So yeah. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about making or creating space for difficult emotions. I feel like if you're more into like spirituality and stuff, like, you know, they say like there's no such thing as like a negative emotion. It's just kind of like a lower vibration, which is why it feels the way it does. But you know, just for the sake of keeping it simple, like, you know, difficult emotions, fear, anger, sadness, all of that good stuff, you know. And I've been feeling a lot of those emotions recently. So I've said in a few of my podcasts now about the book, The Untethered Soul. And honestly, it's one of the best books I've ever read. Like, could be the best book I've ever read. It's insane. Like, he talks about like how we are consciousness, essentially. Like, we are not our form, like we are just inside of our form, and we are just consciousness. And how basically like our mind is and our body are kind of just made up of our experiences and our traumas. So the way we think and the way our body feels is just basically made up of like all of these traumas, and we aren't really aware of the fact of like we are consciousness. Like, we aren't any of that. Like, we define ourselves as those things, but we aren't actually those things. And how we kind of just push these emotions down, and then they create this energy in the body that kind of like closes off our energy centers, like especially the heart. And I know this might sound like gibberish, I promise you, like the whole episode isn't like this. Like, if you're not into this kind of thing, you know, either stop watching now, or just wait or skip forward a bit, you know, when I get into a bit more of like the more simple talk about it, you know. So yeah, and basically how we need to allow these things to come up, how when we feel a difficult emotion, we need to release that emotion. Just basically breathe, notice it, try not to think about it too much, where it might be coming from, you know, and you can sort of just like feel your heart opening rather than closing, and you're just releasing that energy, essentially, is what that book talks about. And it talks about so much more as well, but that is just the main point from the book that I'm talking about today. And I enjoyed the book so much that I went and got the second book. If it wasn't under a pile of other books right now, I would show it to you. But Living Untethered, where he basically talks about, what is his name? Michael Singer. I want to say it's Michael Singer. Yeah, like, he basically puts it into motion, because as much as I understood the first book, I did get a little bit confused with how exactly to practice it as things got a bit more complex. Like, yeah, there's like a lot of questions that I had that weren't really answered directly in the first book, even though it's pretty self-explanatory. So like when I went on to the second book, then it laid it out really simple, just kind of like, when you feel this way, like this is what you need to do, and like this is how you need to react to your emotions, and like kind of just like, and if this happens, like don't worry, that's normal. Like, yeah. So honestly, like if you enjoy this video and you want to look into that side of things, I would 100% recommend those books. So I'm just kind of going to be talking about like things that I've been through recently, and like how making space for the difficult emotions has like really helped me, even though it's been difficult, you know. So let's get into it. Yeah, so recently I have just been like emotionally exhausted. Like I've been so tired, like just physically, emotionally, mentally. Like I have nothing to give, like I have nothing in me. Like I don't know, like I'm not really sleeping, like yeah, it's just hard. But anyways, so I think I've spoken about this like the last few episodes. I feel like I've had like just one thing after another, and sometimes I feel like that is just what life is. And I know this might sound silly, but like I feel like I was having a bit of a tough time when I read those books. Like I'd always wanted to read The Untethered Soul. Like it's been in my book list for years, but I just never ever like got around to like buying it or asking for it or anything like that. And I was in like a bit of a shit situation, like not a shit situation, but like for me, like it was making me feel very shit. And one day I just wanted to make myself feel better. And I went into town and I was going to say Weatherspoons. I did not go into Weatherspoons. I went into Waterstones and I saw The Untethered Soul there, and I didn't go in for that book, but I saw it and something just said to me, like, get it. I went in to get The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and I saw it and I was like, I've wanted that book for so long. And there were so many other books I'd wanted for so long. And I was just like, do you know what, like I'm just gonna get it. Like I was like, I'm just gonna get it. Like it's literally fine. Like why wouldn't it be fine? I don't know. Yeah, so I just like felt really drawn to that book. So I got the book and then I started reading it, and at the time, like I don't know, I just feel like there was some sort of, I feel like I was just meant to read this book now. Like, I don't know, maybe it sounds silly, but eventually then the situation ended and it really opened up one of my like core wounds. And I feel like the book does talk about this. So basically, like, I'm not going to go into what they call it in the book and stuff. I was just about to, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so the book kind of does talk about that, like how when you feel like a difficult emotion, like that is just a wound basically, and it's asking you to like release that energy. And like the way that you do that is just by noticing it, being like, okay, this is how I feel right now, like this is just a feeling, like it will pass if I let it, like if I don't give into it. So it's literally just like, I'm feeling sad right now, like that's fine. And then just breathing, like focusing on that area where you feel that like difficult emotion, and then just like breathing into it, like sometimes not too deep, especially if the feeling's like very intense. I find like really deep breathing can actually make it worse. But yeah, just like breathing into it, just being like, it's literally okay, like I'm here with you, you know? So yeah, this core wound was just kind of open. Like it wasn't, I've spoken about this in my last few episodes, like it wasn't a decision I wanted to make. Like it wasn't something I would have ever done before. Like I said, like it was only something I'd ever done once before. And I feel like it kind of opened my wound of like, am I not worth choosing? Like why why don't people want to show up for me romantically, you know? And then I feel like because this time I didn't fully self-abandon, like I started to, but then I'd also started to realise how that was making me feel, and I didn't want to abandon myself, and I recognised that, and I actually chose myself for the first time in this sort of situation. And that was really hard for me, and it still is really hard for me, like, if I'm honest. And like, it may sound so silly, like, for somebody that like I didn't know that long, or like, you know, like, oh, like I'm choosing myself, like I was only speaking to them for a few months, like, it, you know, like, but for me, like, that was a big thing, you know. And it was really hard because I was like, why did none of these people want to show up for me? And I think it was even harder because this person had so many qualities that I did like, and I was like, it just would be so nice if it was you, like, it would just be so nice if it was you, but I just can't accept this, like, I can't accept this. And something in me was just like, you can't, like, you know. And like, that's been really difficult for me because I've been going back and forth, like, did I make the right decision? Oh, but I still really like this person, like, oh, I really want to talk to them, like, what if I just messaged, what if I just phoned, you know, would they answer, like, you know, like. And I feel like it's been really hard to trust myself because it's not something I've ever really done in this situation before, like. And I feel like it's really hard when it's like early stages of something and you don't really let it just play out, because you get to a point where you're like, you know, usually I would get to the point of like, right, this just feels like disrespectful now, like I just feel like I'm being taken for a fool, like I'm being taken advantage of, you know. And I would get to that point and I would just let it carry on, because I'd be like, I really like having this person's attention, I really like this person, like I feel chosen right now. So I would just go right up until that moment where they didn't want to speak to me anymore. And this time I didn't do that. And yeah, like I said, it's been really difficult, and it did open that wound of like, why don't these people want to show up for me? Like, what is it about me? Like, this is my fault, like this is something to do with me, like people don't choose me. Somebody's watching TV, that's really annoying. Yeah, like, why, it must be something wrong with me, like nobody shows up for me because of something I'm doing. And like, I've had some really big feelings about it, and I read this book literally, like I started reading it I think during, and then I was reading it just after, and it really helped me, like it really soothed me. Like, I finished that book and I wanted to open it up and I wanted to start reading it again, you know. So like, every time that like a thought was coming up about this person, I could just kind of like treat my brain like it was my friend and be like, I don't want to talk about this all the time, like I just, please, like, please, can I just have some peace? Like, and it doesn't always work, because I do feel like what you resist persists, but like it does teach you to like just kind of let the thoughts pass like clouds. Like, you don't have to give in to every thought, like you can just, a thought can just pop in your head and you can just be like, okay, like I see you, but you don't have to mean anything, like I don't have to dive deep into you and spiral. And this book has really helped me to stop spiraling. But it also teaches you that like your thoughts are your wounds, like it's the energy from your wounds, like when you're feeling triggered, and like it's just those wounds trying to be released. So like, I look at my thoughts completely differently now. Whereas before, when I used to think about this person or any person in the past, I would be like, I need to move on. Like, it's been months, it's been weeks. Like, why am I still thinking about this person? Like, I can guarantee you, like, they're probably not thinking about me. Like, I probably thought about this person more than this person thinks themselves. Like, and that's not even like, I probably think more than, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just the truth, you know. And it's sad, but it's not like, it's literally just energy, like trying to be freed from your body, and like you don't have to give into it, like you can just let it be there, you know. But yeah, so like every time these difficult emotions were coming up, and like I felt like those wounds were like really coming up, like I just kind of sat with it, and like I've never really understood, and I saw something the other day that said like when you're healing your nervous system, like you need to work with your body and not against it. And you know, I just feel like my frontal lobe developed when I read that. Like, oh my god, yeah, like why am I trying to push it away? Like every time I felt like this in the past, like I've just tried to do so many things to like kind of not push the feeling away, because I didn't think I was doing that. But like, what am I trying to say? I would do so much self-care, and I also understand now, and I understood it anyway, but I understand now more than ever that like self-care isn't always pretty. Like, you know, like doing the nice things and like reducing your screen time and like doing the painting and the colouring and the baking and like, you know, like looking after yourself physically, like going to the gym and all of this. Like, yes, please take care of yourself, but don't do it to push away a feeling. And I feel like that's what I used to do. Like the feeling would come up, like my anxious attachment would be triggered, or like, you know, my nervous system would be triggered, and I would start to kind of like fight that by doing something and trying to think of something else, and then wondered why I was feeling worse. It's because I wasn't sitting with it and I wasn't understanding it and I wasn't listening to it. Like my body is trying to tell me something and I'm not listening to it because I'm going, this is really uncomfortable. I'm actually gonna go over here and do something else while you see yourself out, you know? And like that's exactly what I was doing. And like I was doing something that was making me feel better, but it wasn't actually addressing the root cause, you know? So yeah, like every time those feelings have been coming up now, I've been purposely like not self-abandoning. Like I don't always need to understand them, I don't always need to understand where they've come from. Like sometimes I just need to be there, feel the energy, and like literally just feel it, you know? But yeah, anyway, so like I was saying, like I just felt like I was just being hit and hit, like core wound after core wound, like, you know? And then like my granddad went into hospital and I was just like so stressed about that, and I was just like, oh god. And then like I spoke about what happened recently, like in my last episode. Like I don't feel like I need to bring that up again on here, but like yeah, like that again made me feel as though like I was just so easy to forget and like so easy to like be pushed aside and like just move on to the next person. Like that really hurt me and like triggered that in me. And then if you've been watching me for a while, you'll remember that I got ghosted, and that was like hell for me. And honestly, I look back to the girl I was at that point and I just really feel for her. Like I stayed in that until the very end. I stayed in that until I got completely ignored, like literally like not even like an open message for weeks, you know. And that really hurt me, and for months I thought that I did something so bad, and like I was horrible to myself about it. I had no self-compassion. I literally posted a video on here, and obviously it would have been in my podcast episodes too, and I think it was called Let's Talk About Self-Abandonment or something like that, because I was very aware of the fact that I had abandoned myself in this situation, but I didn't fully understand, like, you know, and I was still abandoning myself after. I was still abandoning myself in that video and for videos after, and I was absolutely heartbroken. And it wasn't really anything to do with the person. Like yes, I thought that he was so kind and so lovely, and I was like, what, like how? And that's what really hurt, is the fact that like I thought I pushed like an extremely lovely, nice person away. And I'm not saying that he's not that person, I don't know him clearly, you know. And for my benefit at that point in time, because I was like so fragile surrounding that situation, and I do this with all the boys that like things don't work out with, like if they don't do anything bad enough, as if that's not bad enough to hurt me, like, oh no, that's not what I was going to say at all, to unfollow them, then I will just mute them, because like I feel like it's less drama, like, and when you're fresh out of something, like I feel like as childish as it is, like you do still kind, like there's an attachment there, you don't want them to unfollow you, you know. So I muted him on Instagram, posts, stories, anything of the sort, you know. So I went for lunch with my friend about a week ago now, and she knows this boy because like they're from the same area, I don't really know. And she knew that I used to see him. So we're sat at lunch and she was like, oh, he's got a girlfriend. And I was like, well, oh, cool. Like, I didn't really care. And then she showed me like his story, and I was like, that kind of does hurt a little bit. Like, but it's just like, it, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, it's literally fine. Like, me thinking that like he's now got a girlfriend like months after, and like that's fine. Like, you know, I've seen people too, it just didn't work out. Then I told my best friend after, and she's like FBI, and she was like, can I have a look? And I was like, yeah, if you want to look, like I don't really care. She was like, you don't have to look. I was like, no, honestly, like I don't care, like it's literally fine. And then she was like, Beth, he's been posting her since April. And I was like, oh, he was definitely seeing us at the same time. He was definitely seeing us at the same time. Again, that's an assumption, maybe he wasn't, but like again, like that hurt, that ripped open a wound again, because I was like, what and logically, like consciously, I don't think this, but deep down in that, like I feel this, like what does she have that I don't, you know? Like, oh god, I feel like my dogs are gonna start barking in a sec. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, cute it. What does she have that I don't, you know, like the age-old question. I was like, it's nothing, like it's literally just the fact that like he couldn't give me what I needed, he could give her what she needed. Like maybe he's a level 2 person and I'm a level 6 person, and you know, level 2 can't really rise to meet level 6, but it wasn't comfortable enough for me to lower my needs down to a level 2. I tried, it didn't work. And maybe she's a level 2 or a level 3 person, you know, maybe she's a level 1, like, and that's not saying anything bad, it's just saying that like they're just more suited to each other. Like, it's not saying that she's better than me, it's not saying that I'm better than her, like it's just a case of like they're just better suited, and I know that. But deep down I was like, there's something wrong with me, like he didn't choose me, this last boy didn't choose me, and it hurts, you know. And I was just kind of like, I don't know, I've just been feeling a bit bleak, like, you know, just very like baseline feelings, like just quite flat, like just tired, just like, you know, like I've been through this before, like I'll get through it again, like it's literally completely fine, you know. And then I was just like, do you know, like it really actually hurts, and I really feel sad for that girl that I was, because she, and I'm glad that it happened this way, because you know, at least I did get over it, and at least I grieved it, and I you know, like I got over being ghosted, and I realised that that's not someone I'd want to be with anyway, you know. So yeah, like, but I did feel sad for her, I did feel sad for the girl I was a year ago, because she had no idea and she completely blamed herself, when the reality of it is like, yes, why would I want to be with someone who's capable of doing that? And two, like, I just deserve more than somebody who's gonna probably be seeing more than one person at once and not be honest about it, tell me he wants me to be his girlfriend and then ghosts me a week later and then starts posting a new girl not that long after. Just be honest, you know, like. And there it was, like, me thinking it was me. No, sister, it never is. You know, and that's not to say like that I don't have any flaws. I do, I know I do, like, but I try, you know. I never do anything with the intention of hurting anyone, like, and it's tough. And I feel like I don't give myself enough credit. Like, I don't think that there's many other people out there that sit in their rooms answering questions about their fucking childhoods and, you know, really digging deep into their behaviour and how they can react differently and heal their nervous system. Like, I really don't think there's that many people that I am upset about that would be doing that, you know. So like, if you're doing that work too, then give yourself a pat on the back, because I can guarantee you that anyone who's caused you to do this work, and thank God for them, honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way, like, thank God for them, but like, I can guarantee you that they're probably not doing that, you know. They're probably going into the next thing, same wounds and all, and they just don't really care, you know. And I have like had some really bad days recently, and this is another thing I wanted to talk about in this video. I feel like I'm gonna call it practicing the untethered soul once I started practicing it. So basically, once I started creating space for those difficult emotions, I feel like I kind of opened a floodgates and I wasn't sure that it was normal. Now I realise, like, I feel like it kind of is. I feel like once you start to heal your nervous system and once you start creating space for those negative emotions, or I don't want to call them negative emotions, the difficult emotions, like those lower vibrational frequencies, you know, like once you start creating space to feel them rather than like pushing them down because you're uncomfortable feeling them and just kind of like storing them in your body, because you have so many stored in you, like you've created a space for them to come up now and sort of be released. And like he says in the untethered soul, like these like memories and these wounds were like stored with pain, so they're going to be released with pain. Like, that's normal, you know. And I was just like, I had like a good day Monday, and then Tuesday I woke up, and it makes me upset to like even think about it, but like I woke up and I just had these thoughts, and it was just like, there's something wrong with you, like these people aren't choosing you because there's something wrong with you, like. And I was just so upset, and I was literally just like bawling my eyes out. I was so upset. And then like I tried to make myself feel better by going for a walk, and then I went to Reformer Pilates, and I felt worse. I was just like literally bawling my eyes out. And then I went to go and see my grandparents, and I was just like, my nan was like, you okay? Like, I was like, there's something wrong with me. I was like, why? I was like, why do people treat me like this? Like, there's something wrong with me. Like, they aren't choosing me because there's something wrong with me. And she was like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, it's literally just the people that you're choosing. Like, but it's so hard to think that there's people out there who won't make me feel this way when it's kind of the only way I've ever been made to feel. But I understand that like I am attracted to a certain type of person and a certain type of behaviour, and like one of the reasons I'm feeling so upset about it is because I'm finally trying to put a stop to that, and it just doesn't feel natural, you know. And like I'm so used to like blaming myself and being blamed for how people treat me that it doesn't feel natural. Like I feel like I should just run back and apologize and be like, I was just so stupid, like, you know, like of course you treated me that way because of how I was, like, you know. And And then sometimes I'm like, am I making it all up in my head? Like, I literally don't know. But yeah, anyway, so I had that really bad day Tuesday. Like, I literally was crying all day. Like, in the night, I was literally like so numb because I just cried all day, with the exception of like an hour of Pilates and 2 hours of work. And I even cried in work. Like, you know, like it, it was literally like, yeah. So that was rough. And then I thought, you know, like my nan was like, have a great day today, tomorrow, like wake up, it'll be different. And like logically, like I knew in my mind that like these thoughts weren't like logical. Like I knew that, like I knew they weren't true. And but every time they pop in my mind, I would just get extremely upset, and I would just have this surge of like this emotion, and like I needed to cry, and like I was just like sort of like letting it release and like not going into the thought like I would usually. So like I just kind of created that space. So I thought like the next day I would feel better because I'd had this day, or I just cried it all out, you know. No. Honestly, I still don't. Like, it's Friday today, and like I still don't think I've really had a day where I haven't really been like upset. Like I had a really nice day yesterday. Like I went to the spa with my friend, like we went for lunch, like then I went to Pilates with my other friend, and it's just like, I don't know, like it's just difficult, like being there and like saying to myself like, these are just thoughts, these are just emotions, like I'm here with you, like I'm here with you, like, you know, it's fine, like let's just breathe, like it's okay, like these thoughts don't mean anything, like, you know. And it's just difficult, and I do feel like I've just opened the floodgates, and I'm just like, I know I'm not going to feel this way forever, like, but I'm scared. Like I feel like it right now, like it feels like I'm never ever going to get out of this, and I absolutely hate that. And it's just like, I know it's still so soon since this situation has ended, like I still miss this person, and like I still want to reach out most days, and like, you know, and then it's like, it's probably not that deep for them, you know, like they probably don't think about me every day, like they probably don't think like, oh, I want to text her, like, because it wasn't that long. But then it's like, I need to stop invalidating it as well, you know, and like that makes it harder. And then I'm there like again, like trying to suppress these feelings by saying like, well, if this person isn't feeling this way, which I don't know, you know, like then like it's so embarrassing that I feel this way, and like they would think it's so funny that like I'm being this deep about it, and when they probably don't think it's that deep. But it's like, I don't know any of this for a fact, you know, and it's fine, like I am just a deep person. Like I was saying, my nan was like, I was saying to her, like, I'm sick and tired of people making me feel like I'm the problem, I'm too much, like I'm literally sick of it, like I'm not too much, like I am sensitive, I have depth, why don't you have depth? And I'm not saying this person didn't have depth, I'm just saying in general, like people that tell me like, you know, like why are you so deep, like, you know, why aren't you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just sick of it, like, for being made to feel like I'm some fucking freak show because I actually have emotions and empathy. Is that not normal? I don't know. But, you know, like she was saying, like, you go into things with like your heart on your sleeve and that you give it your all, and like maybe you shouldn't do that. I was like, why is it me that has to change something? Why is it always me that has to change something? Why do I have to change how I show up? Why do I have to show less love to be loved by someone? I don't understand. Like, it's not normal. Like, you know, and I was just saying to her, like, I'm literally sick of it. Like, I don't want to be the one that has to change anymore. Like, I try so hard. I try and watch my behaviour. Like, I try and watch my triggers. Like, I always show up with the best intentions. I'm sick and tired. Like, should it not be the person that's not showing up with good intentions, that's not putting in their best effort, putting their best foot forward? Like, should it not be them? Should it not be the people that aren't being honest with me? Should it not be them that has to change something, not me, because I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm honest and I care? Just a thought. Literally just a thought. Just a thought. But yeah. Yeah, so it's been a tough few weeks in all honesty. But yeah, I do think it's normal, and I feel like with everything, sometimes I feel like things get worse before they get better. Like, you know, when you go to the gym and you put on muscle and you're trying to lose weight, usually you get bigger before you get smaller. And like with medications, usually it gets worse before it gets better. Skincare, usually it gets worse before it gets better. Like, you know, like just, I feel like there's so many rules that you can apply to things. Like with this now, like failure leads to freedom. Like you are one failure closer to success. Again, I feel like that applies to everything, so why would it not apply to this? And like, I'm just really trying to have faith and like hold room for these emotions rather than just shutting off again, because I feel like things are getting a bit bad and I don't like how I'm feeling at the moment. Like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it's not going to be good for me in the long run. And like he says in his book, like there's two hards, and one hard is allowing these emotions to come up and release, and like releasing all of this blocked energy, and the other hard is not doing that and continuing to act from an unconscious place, I want to say, you know, like acting from that place for the rest of your life and never experiencing all the really higher vibrational frequencies, and like you're just allowing these wounds to control how you interact with the world. Yeah, and it's difficult, and he does say like it's gonna open a floodgates. He doesn't say it in those words, but you know, but it's easier to let that happen now and to get rid of all these blockages and all these difficult emotions, and understand that it's okay that you are going to feel them throughout life, but you should not let them negatively impact you. Like you can feel it, you can release it, and you can just go on with your life as you do. Like, it's not saying that you're always going to be happy, but if you can let things just kind of move through you instead of getting blocked inside of you, you will be able to function a lot more, and you will live a much more smoother sailing life, if that makes sense. I feel like I wanted to say more. Yeah, like I also feel like I haven't been sleeping very well, and I feel like my nervous system has been very activated, like, and it's difficult and it's not nice. And again, like the first thing I want to do is kind of just like be out of my head and like go somewhere else, do something else, spend time with lots of other people, but I'm actually exhausted. I'm too tired to do anything. I'm not really sleeping, but then my nervous system, I can feel that it's activated. Like I feel restless, like I have restless energy in my chest, and then my thoughts going crazy, and it's just like, it's not nice. But again, I feel like it has to get worse before it gets better. Like I need to clear this energy, soothe my nervous system, learn that it's safe to feel these difficult emotions, and just kind of let them out and just ride it out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the minute you start making space for those emotions, you understand that it's okay to feel them, because what you resist persists, you know? And it's so true. Like I never ever wanted to accept the fact that like my ex wasn't the person for me, and it took the absolute worst happening, not the absolute worst by any means, but worse than things needed to get in that situation, for me to finally say like, no, I'm done, and then deal with the aftermath, you know, and think I'm not doing this again, and then finally being over it, you know. And like again, the last time, like that wasn't the absolute worst that could have happened, but getting ghosted was really damaging to me, and it really showed me my wounds. And again, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like if I had to go back and do these situations again to become the person that I am, I would 100% do them. I have grown so much since I started this podcast, and I don't give myself enough credit. You know, I don't give myself enough credit. You probably don't give yourself enough credit either. Like I've grown so much as a person. Like I've grown into a much more confident person. Like I am so much calmer, I am so much kinder, I react from a much better place most of the time, you know. Like I am a completely different person now to when I started this podcast, or to who I was when I went through my, not my first breakup, but like the breakup that caused this podcast to become a thing. you know, like, I'm so proud of myself for that. And it's like, if I had to go through all of these things again, I would, because it would make me who I am now, and I love the person I am. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, why would I ever be so down on myself when I would love to have someone like me in my life? I show up, you know, like, I'm a reliable person, like, I'm so caring, I'm so loving, like, I'm very attentive to the people that I care about, like, I always pay attention, I always listen, like, you know, I am never, what was that? um, I never horrible, like, I always take other people's feelings into consideration, like, and I was thinking to myself the other day, like, even though I didn't show up fully how I wanted to in my last situation, and like, there were some parts of me that I feel like I was a bit too vulnerable, and I did react in a bit of a rash way, and I didn't sit with myself and try and understand where that was coming from, I still showed up in a way that I am proud of. Like, I wasn't insane, like, I wasn't horrible, I wasn't nasty, like, I stayed true to myself. And only in the end, where I really needed to let my self-respect come into play, and I really didn't want to do that, and it took a lot for me to do that, like, only then did I have to act in a way that I didn't particularly want to, you know. And it's just like, people will take advantage of you when you're such a kind person, and like, maybe they don't do it intentionally, but whether the intention was there or not, like, they still did that, you know, and they still made you feel that kind of way. And it's horrible when you feel like you're making things up, and like, you've got all these horrible feelings, and you're like, am I the one that's causing them? But yeah, I just feel like I'm having like these wounds really brought to my attention at the moment, and I'm really being given the means to, like I said, I feel like I was drawn to that book that day for a reason, and I feel like I read it for a reason, and I feel like the timing was just perfect. And honestly, like, it's life-changing, and I feel like everyone should have to read it. Like, it's crazy good, like, insane. But yeah, like, it's difficult emotions, they are not comfortable, and it's very easy to want to run away. But honestly, when you give them the attention that they are asking you for, just like the positive emotions, like, they dissipate so quickly, and they don't disappear by any means, but they go through your body so quickly. Like, you don't have to feel heavy all day, like, you can just pay attention to that emotion instead of abandoning yourself and going to do something else. Sit with it for a second, just sit with it for a second. You don't even have to know what the feeling is, just hand on heart, or whatever that feeling is, take some breaths, be quiet for a second, just release it, relax the shoulders, just let your heart open, you know. And I know sometimes it doesn't make sense, but yeah, you know, once you make space for the difficult emotions, they will hold space for you too, you know, and you will start to take things a lot less personally when you aren't acting from a place of being wounded. And again, like, I don't know what that place is yet, I don't know what that feels like yet, but I'm hopefully on the way, and I have faith that I'm on the way, and I won't feel like this forever, and that the floodgates won't always be open. But yeah, I hope this helped, and thank you for listening. I love you lots and lots, like jelly tots, and yeah, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.